Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist isn't just a story. It's more like a roadmap. It's a guide to this really profound idea that the true reward of any great quest isn't what you find at the end, but who you become along the way. And today, we're going to unlock the secrets of that legendary journey.
But to really get a handle on the power of an earned reward, we first need to look at its opposite. So let's start with a short little cautionary tale about what happens when you get everything you've ever wanted with zero effort.
So picture this. There's a young prince. He wants a soulmate. Poof! A woman matching his exact desires is delivered to his door. He wants to be admired. The whole kingdom is ordered to sing songs about how great he is. He wants to be wise. Okay, every great book is reprinted with his name on the cover. He lived out his days, praised, celebrated, and, well, on the surface, he was perfectly happy.
So were you rooting for the prince? Yeah, probably not. That story feels kind of empty, doesn't it? There's no growth, no struggle, no transformation, no lesson is learned. And because of that, it's not really a story at all, is it? It's just a series of transactions.
See, that's the thing. The real magic of any great narrative lies in that transformation. It's not about just getting the prize, it's about becoming the kind of person who is worthy of receiving it. And honestly, no story illustrates this idea better than The Alchemist.
So, with that in mind, let's meet our hero. He's a young shepherd boy from Spain, his name is Santiago, and his incredible journey begins not with some grand command, but with a simple, recurring dream.
Santiago's life is pretty chill. His biggest concerns are his sheep, his wine, and maybe a good book. He's comfortable. But then, for several nights in a row, he has the same, really vivid dream. A child tells him that if he travels to the Egyptian pyramids, he's going to find a hidden treasure. He tries to just brush it off, but the dream, it just won't let him go.
So Santiago's confused, right? He goes looking for answers and soon meets this mysterious old man who calls himself Melchizedek, the king of Salem. And it's here that Santiago learns about the core concept of the entire book, his personal legend. This isn't just some fantasy, the king explains. It's Santiago's true purpose, an ambition that literally springs from the soul of the world itself.
And this, right here, brings us to the book's most famous line. Melchizedek tells him that if he truly, fully commits to his personal legend, the entire universe will actually work in his favor. It speaks to him through signs, symbols, coincidences, what the book calls omens, to guide him along his path.
To help him on his way, the king gives Santiago 2 stones, Urim, a black one for yes, and Thummim, a white one for no. They're basically tools for when he feels totally lost, but the king's advice is crucial. They are a last resort, not a crutch. Making his own decisions is always, always the best choice.
And just like that, Santiago makes a monumental choice. He sells his entire flock of sheep and uses the money to sail for Africa. His quest has begun. But on his very first day in Tangiers, he learns that the universe's help doesn't mean the path is going to be easy, not even close.
Santiago's journey is long, and every challenge forges him into a new man. He's immediately robbed in Tangiers, loses everything. He then spends an entire year working in a crystal shop just to earn his money back. He crosses the brutal Sahara Desert, navigating deadly tribal wars. And finally, he reaches the oasis of Al-Fayoum, where he finds love, power, and his final, most important guide.
Now, let's just pause on this number for a second. 1. It represents 1 full year. Think about that. After a terrible, completely demoralizing start, Santiago doesn't give up. He doesn't go home. He commits to a year of hard work. He learns the local language, he masters business, and he turns a failing shop into a huge success. This period tests his resolve like crazy, but it also gives him the patience and real-world wisdom he is absolutely going to need later on.
And you start to see this really clear pattern emerge on his journey. Every single time Santiago finds a new comfort zone, like when he has enough money to go home, when he's offered a powerful job at the oasis, when he falls deeply in love, the omens reappear reminding him, hey, your personal legend isn't finished yet. He has to step back into the unknown. It's at the oasis that he finally meets him, the alchemist, a wise and powerful man who becomes his guide. The alchemist teaches him to listen to his heart and speak the language of the world. And he gives Santiago this crucial piece of wisdom. The only real obstacle standing in his way is his own fear.
And man, is that fear put to the ultimate test. They get captured by a warring tribe. To save their lives, the alchemist makes this impossible claim. He says Santiago can transform himself into the wind. The chief gives him a deadline, 3 days. Do it or you're both dead. For 3 days, terrified, Santiago communicates with the world. He speaks to the desert, the wind, the sun, and finally the soul of the world. He summons a massive sandstorm, completely freaking out his captors and letting them escape. He has overcome his greatest fear.
So, after surviving all that, Santiago finally arrives at the Egyptian pyramids. He's made it. He's at his destination. But the universe, well, it has one last, beautifully ironic lesson in store for him.
He sees an omen, a scarab beetle, and falls to his knees and just starts digging in the sand. But just as he starts, bam! He's ambushed by robbers. They beat him brutally and take the gold the alchemist had given him. It seems like his entire quest has ended in violent, meaningless failure.
As Santiago's lying there, bleeding, he explains he was digging because of a dream he had. The leader of the robbers just laughs at him. He tells Santiago that he too had a recurring dream of treasure, buried at an abandoned church in Spain. But then he says, "I'm not so stupid as to cross a desert because of a dream." And in that single moment, it all clicks. Santiago understands everything. The physical treasure was back where he started the whole time. So the question is, why? Why did he have to endure this massive, dangerous, life-altering adventure just to be told to go back home? Because, and this is the entire point, the journey was never about the gold. It was about Santiago becoming the man he was meant to be. And now we get to the heart of it all. Let's unpack this core message and see how it applies to our own lives. As Coelho himself writes, the ultimate reward is the transformation. Just think about it. Santiago left Spain as a simple shepherd boy and returned a wise man. He learned Arabic, ran a successful business, fell in love, interpreted omens, and even talked to the elements to create a storm. He earned the wisdom and resilience to be worthy of the treasure. The boy who left Spain would have just blown that wealth. The man who returned was ready for it.
The psychologist Carl Jung actually had a term for what would have happened if Santiago found the treasure on day one. He called it unearned wisdom. This is basically knowledge or a reward that you get without doing the inner work to handle it. It's like being given the keys to a Formula One race car when you've only ever ridden a bicycle. The power is useless. In fact, it's incredibly dangerous. You're way more likely to crash and burn than to reach any destination. The journey is the training you need to handle the power of the reward.
And this idea shows this kind of cosmic balance, Unearned rewards often become punishments. We see this all the time. Think about lottery winners. Studies show about a third of them end up declaring bankruptcy. They get this huge wealth without the financial discipline to manage it, and it just destroys them. Or what about students using AI to write essays? They get the grade, that's the unearned reward, but they miss the actual learning. They've outsourced the struggle, which is how we build wisdom. They get the answer, but they lose the ability to think. Now contrast that with an earned reward. There's this powerful story about a man named Drake. Facing a DUI, he could have hired a lawyer to get him off. Instead, he walked into court and confessed. The short-term punishment was harsh, but that one act of honesty forced him to confront his alcoholism and completely transform his life. 10 years later, he called that DUI the most important positive experience he'd ever had. He paid the price, and the reward was becoming the person he was meant to be. So, when you boil it all down, what can we take away from Santiago's journey? Well, the lessons are huge. First, the real treasure is the person you become. Second, the fear of failure is the only thing that truly makes a dream impossible. Third, real wisdom is knowledge plus experience. You can't just read about the desert, you have to cross it. Fourth, pay attention to the omens, your gut feelings, the weird coincidences. Fifth, true love never holds you back from your personal legend, it supports it. And finally, sometimes what you're looking for is right where you started, but you have to go on the whole journey just to finally have the eyes to see it. Look, Santiago's story is a fable, but its message is a call to action for every single one of us. It's an invitation to look inward and to start our own journey. Because there is no greater adventure and no more valuable treasure than that privilege of a lifetime, becoming who you were always meant to be. That work, the work of fulfilling your potential, that's the most rewarding journey you can ever take. So, the final question isn't about a shepherd boy in a book. It's about you. What is that recurring dream you just can't seem to ignore? What is that deep desire the universe is conspiring to help you achieve? What is your personal legend? Your journey is waiting. If this explainer sparked something in you, help share this timeless wisdom. Like this explainer, subscribe for more, and share it with your family and friends.
anyone you think is ready to stop dreaming and start their own journey to upgrade their life. Thanks for watching.